everyone. I am Zayna Allen, and welcome back to Bold Life. I hope you all had a great holiday. Now, I have a quick question, though. Do you guys really follow the no white after Labor Day rule? Like, is that still a thing? Because, like, I don't. You know, even in the slightest bit. Now, I won't wear, like, all white or anything crazy, but you're not about to tell me what I can and can't wear, okay? But we have a great show for you. Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments section below. We want to know what you think. The 2020 VMAs aired last week, and they did a mix of virtual and studio performances. Did you all watch it? You know, the history of award show performances have come a long way, and our next guest has had his fair share of award show performances. Please welcome Jemel McWilliams. How are you doing?
Yo, what's good? I'm fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing as well as I can, you know?
Right. Yep.
So,
you know, and that's the thing. I wake up every day and I say, I decided today I was going to be fantastic. So I go from minute to minute, hour to hour.
Exactly. And that's exactly how you need to do it. So, Jemel, let's start off first with the congrats. Okay, you're a 2020 Emmy nom for Outstanding Choreography for Variety or Reality Programming for the Oscars opening sequence routine Come Alive by Janelle Monáe. Now, how does that feel?
I mean, incredible. Like, it is, I mean, honestly, like, it was crazy. I found out that morning. I definitely had a quick moment and then was like, wow, this is really happening. And I've been buzzing ever since.
Wow. Well, now, can you talk to us about that performance? What was your inspiration behind it?
You know, we wanted to highlight the films that inspired us throughout that year. And then also, we just wanted to also make sure that we put faces on that stage that you don't often see on that stage. And so for us, this was like a purposeful piece that was rooted in the films, but also just in pushing progress and pushing forward, like some of the themes that we want to make sure, inclusivity, et cetera, et cetera. So
yes,
yeah, it was fun.
Absolutely. Well, you know, things that you did, okay. You get a round of applause. Now, you know, Jemel, you have over 10 years of experience in the game. So how have you seen your growth thus far?
Well, you know, I started out as a dancer, so I've seen my growth go from literally a dancer to second assistant choreographer to first assistant choreographer to associate choreographer all the way through to choreographer, and I followed a similar path with artistic direction. So I've literally done it all to get to where I'm at today. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing it. Well,
you know, I'm just trusting the process. That's
yes, and that's what you have to do. I think a lot of people get lost and, you know, I got to do this, I got to get that, I got to get this, I got to get that. But, you know, just, you got the skills, you got the knowledge, just let it go. Do the work. But just let it happen, you know?
And let God do the rest.
Exactly. So, you know, I had to ask about this year's VMA performances. Now, I want to ask your opinion, okay, of these new, no audience, really technical performances. There were so many performances, a lot of good ones at this year's VMAs. Now, I want to know your opinion on this new type of award show situation we got going on.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. This is how I like to do it. I first applaud all the creatives out there who have had to adjust during these times, because this was an adjustment for all of us. Like, I did a BET Awards performance with John Legend, and so I know the difference, and it feels strange to all of us to have to create and present for an audience that's not there, that's not in front of us. And so everything is utilizing that imagination. But I thought that they did some, you know, there were some really good performances. I think the sets, I mean, the range and the ability that we have now, because there's so much CGI.
Yes, everything is virtual too. That's why I think that this no audience thing works, because now you can do a performance and whatever your mind comes up with, you know, then that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's cool on one end, but you also got to know on that other end, though, like, you know, artists and performers, and I was a performer on stage, we feed off of that. You know what I mean? Like, that helps fuel the performance when you have that kinetic energy right in front of you. So there's a difference, but I think we're all, like, really making this adjustment and adapting You know what I mean? And I'm just watching them get better and better and better. So I look forward to some of the crazy things I got in my mind being put on those
Yes,
stages.
yes, on these virtual stages. I'm excited too because you come and you do not play. You give the girls what they
uh,
need to see. Okay.
Listen, that's the goal, right?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm so looking forward to what the Emmys have in store for us. Jemel, I'm rooting for everybody black. So, so I'm rooting for you. Well, thank you for joining us today, Jemel.
Thank you for having me.
This trio of girls may not necessarily be Destiny's Child, but they definitely have a destiny. They have founded the Girls Company, and they are here with us today. Please welcome Zoia Ali, Taimi Kennerley, and Abby Warner. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
How are you guys? You guys are, wow. This sync. Hi. You guys practice this. It has to be. It has to be. So, ladies, let's talk about the Girls Company. How and when did you guys start this?
Yeah, so the three of us met in the first semester of the entrepreneurship program at BYU. And the three of us were put into a random group together, which was kind of like fate because there were only 6 girls in the whole program of 50. And so 3 of us randomly in a group together felt like fate. And the whole premise of the class was to solve a pain. And we immediately knew that we were going to do something to solve a pain for women because there's just so many women's problems that go unaddressed and go ignored. And so we had that category, and then we went into periods because the 3 of us had various painful, uncomfortable period experiences. So we focused on periods. We did some like empathy interviews with like a bunch of women to see where their most painful pinpoint was with their periods. And again, people said cramp pain. So cramps were across the board the most painful problem that women go through with periods. So I had to focus on that. We found that the current solutions with cramp pain were stationary heat. Well, people use heat medication, and the heat options were stationary. So you had to be laying down like a hot water bottle, electrical heating pad. You couldn't go anywhere. And like, we got things to do. We got places to be. We got people to see. And there were no options that allowed women to be able to do that. So we wanted to make a portable kind of heated option. And that's kind of how we started and met.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, so you guys created the Girls Company. Now, was there a purpose behind it? What's your mission? What drives the Girls Company?
Yeah. So we, like Zoya said, we started out just because we saw that there was this big gap, especially with women's health problems. There aren't a lot of solutions. And so we really wanted to fill that gap. And as we started talking to women about their periods, we just found that they felt so alone, and they were grateful that we were just even like talking to them about it and bringing it up. And so I think that kind of like formed our vision early on of just, we wanted to take away that like stigma around periods and women's health in general, and create a community of support and trust. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So, your signature product is the band. And I got mine actually just in time from a monthly visitor, okay? And when I tell you, it's a game changer. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, let's talk about the band. And where exactly you guys came up with this idea. I know you said that, you were talking about it, about pain with women, but how exactly did you come up with the idea of the band?
Yeah, so we researched what people were already using to manage their cramp pain. And like Zoe said, people are using heat and medication, but all the heated options were all stationary. So you could wear like a heated pad, or you could have like a giant battery pack. And we were like, well, that's ridiculous because I have to go to work. I can't look like some robot at work with my giant heating pad, and I can't just lay around. So we were like, okay, what if we could make it even thinner, even smaller, but still provide that heat that you want? So the band is essentially, it's like a fabric band, and you slide heated pouches inside the front and back pockets for front pain, or for like cramp pain and back pain. And then it lasts 8 to 10 hours, and all of it is under 1/8 of an inch. So you can actually do the things that you wanted to do. Because our like motto is that your life shouldn't need to stop when your period starts, period. Because for so long, that's all we've done. So we're like, let's just get a solution that allows people to go.
I love it. Look, I love it. I love it. Zoya, were you about to say something?
Oh no, I was agreeing with Taimi. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
I love it. I love it.
I think
Because girls, we all know it's hard, and we don't get a day off. Okay, we don't get a day off when it starts. You know,
No.
and I think we should. But
No.
but hey, we don't get a day off. We got to keep it moving. So I love the product, and I love that was, you know, the idea behind it, that we can still keep our lives moving. And when I tell you, and now that you say it was 8 to 10 hours, I don't think I read that it was 8 to 10 hours. So that makes sense, because even like towards a couple hours later, I was like, oh, this is still hot. I was like, this is still hot. I love this. I thoroughly enjoy this. Now, I read that the products are pretty environmentally safe, right?
Yeah, so all the ingredients inside of the pouches are environmentally safe and natural. We just we'll throw it into like our garden or the plants. Like they're all natural ingredients.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Now, do you guys have any other products coming, and where can we find the girls' company?
For now, it's just this product. We do hope to expand our line of period products in the future. And you can find it on our website, thegirlsco.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you ladies so much for joining us. I'm the first person to tell you, go out and get whatever ladies are watching right now, go out and visit their website, buy the band. Is worth the money, okay? Go ahead and get it so you can keep your lives going, all right? Well, thank you ladies for joining us today. Now, for those who don't know, I am a proud alum of an HBCU. I attended the illustrious Delaware State University, and I love everything about HBCUs. For those who may not know, HBCU means historically black colleges and universities, and there's a huge history behind them, and I can go on and on, but I'll let you all do your Googles, okay? So our next guest has created an app that benefits HBCUs. Please welcome Xavier Peoples. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for having me today.
Of course, Xavier. Now tell us about your app.
So my app, HBCU Change, is an app that is very similar to several apps out here in the marketplace, and that is basically you round up change from your daily transactions, and you give that change to the HBCU of your choice. And so on the surface, many say, well, Xavier, giving change to HBCUs, how does that have an impact on those schools? And what research tells us is if you connect both your debit and your credit card to an app to give to a cause, on average, you can give anywhere from $54 to $87, depending upon how many transactions you do on a monthly basis to that cause. And so using, let's just say Clark Atlanta as an example, Clark Atlanta has 40,000 active alumni. If Clark Atlanta were to get 10,000 people to sign up on HBCU Change, then that's $540,000 a month, over $6 million a year that is being contributed to Clark Atlanta University.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so dope. Now, what was your inspiration behind creating this app?
So in my daytime job, I work for a firm by the name of Capital Group. And at Capital Group, we're the largest active money manager in the world, and we manage some of the biggest endowments and foundations in the world. And so one day, I was just curious. I said, how many HBCUs do we manage? And the answer was 0. And one thing that I know is the resources that truly HBCUs can truly benefit from is the same resources that we use at the bigger, predominantly white institutions. We could use those same tools and resources to give to HBCUs. And so literally, I spent money out of my own pocket, and I traveled all over the country just to do a little research on HBCUs. And what I found was that no matter how big or small the school was, every school had the same issue, and that was engaging their alumni in a meaningful way to consistently give back to the school. And so I came back home, and I dug in a little bit more, and I sent out a survey to 5,000 HBCU alum, and I asked, why don't you give back, or why don't you give back to your institution on a consistent basis? The number one answer to that survey was that we don't give back because we've never been asked, followed closely by we don't feel that we can give back a donation that will truly have an impact on the institution. And that's when the light bulb went off and said that we were on the right track by creating HBCU Change.
Yes. Yeah, and I'd have to agree as well. It's not as easy or convenient, at least, to give back to our schools. Now, what schools are currently involved?
Currently, so we're rolling the schools out in phases. So in our first phase, we have 6 schools that are involved. Fort Valley State University, Florida A&M University, Clark Atlanta University, Benedict College, Morris Brown, and Alabama State University are the first. And then in our second phase, which we're rolling out in the middle of September, there will be an additional 15 schools that we'll be rolling out. So we're rolling them out in phases intentionally. What we want to do is we want to truly focus on a certain amount of schools versus rolling out all 103 HBCUs at one time. So we can truly highlight and be effective in getting support for those individual schools as we roll them out.
Yes. Now, is Del State on the list? Is my
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely, they're on the list.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Now, where can we learn more information on HBCU Change?
So you can go to www.hbcuchange.com. We're on Instagram at HBCU Change. We're on Twitter, HBCU Change, and Facebook as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Xavier. And everybody, please go out and get the HBCU Change app. I know I will. Okay. Thank you so much. Our next guest has quite an extensive list of film and show credits, but you may know her from the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Please welcome Caroline Aaron. How are you doing, Caroline?
I'm doing like everybody else is doing. I'm hanging in.
There you go. Well, Caroline, I want to ask you, you've played so many roles throughout your career. Which one was your favorite, and which one do you think was the most impactful?
It's like having children. You can't say you have a favorite. You love them all in different ways.
Right.
I would say the movie that I have dropping on Amazon now is probably one of the most impactful things I've ever done, especially now because it's about someone who is housebound and a woman who can't leave the house. We know what that ends up being.
Right.
And we're through that right now. It's really hard.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. That was my next question. I wanted to talk about your new film, Call Waiting, and you play two of the leading roles, the 2 leading roles. What was that process like?
It was really thrilling and scary all at the same time. It started out as a play, and it was the playwright's personal story. So that's what I thought it was so impactful. It meant a lot to me to be able to be entrusted with her story. She was housebound with a non-life-threatening illness, and she just talked on the phone all day, which is probably very much like what we're doing these days. And she said, her conceit was, if you listen to one person's side of their phone calls throughout a whole 24-hour period, by the end of the day, you would know everything about them. And the play was a big hit, and she had a great and very interesting backstory. She was a child of survivors. She was born a displaced person. She came to America when she was a little girl with her big sister and her parents, and she ended up living a very comfortable life in Beverly Hills. And when she was an adult, they found out that as a family, the 2 girls found out that the older sister's father had been killed, and that the man that was raising both girls was only the playwright's father, and the sister never spoke to anybody in the family again.
Wow.
She felt so betrayed. And so it's, and believe it or not, it's a comedy. And these great filmmakers just were sitting in the audience one night of the play in LA. It was a big hit in LA. And they wanted to make it into a film. So I assumed you would meet all these people. You would meet the sister, you'd meet her husband, you'd meet all the people she was talking to. But they wanted to protect the original conceit of the play. But they said you can't just have one character in a movie. You have to have more than one. So I figured they'd be adding people. They did add another character written by the brilliant Dan Bukatinsky, but they wanted me to play that too. So now I play the actress playing the character, and we switched back and forth. We had, we did it on a wish and a prayer, as lots of movies are done, and it came out to be very interesting and great, and seems to really capture a lot of people's attention. So I'm really thrilled by that.
Awesome. I'm really excited to check it out. So, I did want to talk to you briefly about The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Now, that show is nominated for 20 Emmys.
I know.
What?
What?
It's crazy. Now, how does it feel to be a part of a project like this?
It's so shocking because collectively, this cast has a huge breadth of work under their belts. And we all say all the time, none of us have ever been in anything that's this big of a hit. It's lightning in a bottle. And it means something to people. One of the things that's so exciting about being a part of it is, besides the fact that I think it's, I call it a Trojan horse, meaning you don't know that inside this delightful, comic, beautiful show is, I think, some really important ideas, especially for women. And so that's really exciting. But it's multi-generational, where we'll hear from people, the grandparents, the parents, the kids can all sit around together and enjoy it together. So, people go, why do you think it's such a hit? And I go, well, if I knew the answer to that, then people would only make hit television shows. Everybody is trying to do that. And I've been on a million television shows, but this is the one that seems to have just captured the hearts of people all over the world.
Yes.
Not just here. I know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you got 20 Emmy nominated, when I found that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's groundbreaking.
I know, but every single person in every department is like at the top of their game.
Yeah.
The production design, the costume design, the music, the directing, the acting. I mean, there's just, it all starts with the writing, though. So I give Amy and Dan the biggest shout out, because they start with the blank page and then we all get added into their dreams. So I'm just glad they invited me to the party. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Emmys have in store for everybody. And I want everybody at home to check out Call Waiting on Amazon Prime Video. So, yes, thank you so much for joining us, Caroline. If you aren't hip to what the kids are doing these days, TikTok has been a big thing in Gen Z and some millennial culture. Bold correspondent Higgins was able to catch up with TikTok influencer Jufu about his success in TikTok. Check it out.
Hello, I'm Oni Higgins, and you're watching Bold TV. Joining me today is up-and-coming hip-hop artist and viral TikTok star Jufu. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So talk to me, what inspires you? What inspires your music?
I just try to learn from everything.
Nice. So what did it feel like or how would you say you felt when your mixtape did as well as it did when it dropped?
It was a very good feeling, especially just me being an artist that started from social media. A lot of people have a hard time making the transition from being influencer and kind of making music that's enjoyed by many people. Sometimes I feel like some people are forced into music, but music was just a natural calling to me, and to see that people accepted and enjoyed my music was super, super cool.
So speaking of social media, how did you get as many followers as you do there on social media?
It's been a long journey for me. I started back in 2014 on Vine. So
you're like an OG.
Yeah. So I was actually still 13 at the time. It was my last year in middle school, and I just started because I wanted to pass my friends and followers. But as time went by, I started to build a following on Vine. Throughout my first 2 years, I was able to go from 0 to 200,000, and that's just through pure persistence, I would say. And then sadly the app died out, so I had to find another way. I tried vlogging for a little bit, and I gave up on that because I felt like my school life was way too boring. So I just decided to stop vlogging. But then Musically came around, which is another app. Thankfully gave me another opportunity to make more content. And I just been consistently grinding on that. Then there was a point where I took a break from that as well. We could probably get into that. And also, yeah, I had taken a break from Musically, and TikTok came around now, and that's really just opened so many doors for me.
Got it. So TikTok definitely blew up during quarantine.
Yeah.
So just what's your favorite challenge so far?
There's a lot of interesting challenges all throughout TikTok. Not to sound egotistical in any way, but I really like my Who Are You challenge.
Okay. What did that consist of?
It was just people having fun with my song. It was just, who are you? I am you. I am me. No, sir. You are you.
There we go. So what do you think about Instagram Reels now coming over? You think it's going to take over TikTok?
It depends on whether TikTok goes away or not. But Instagram Reels, I think, is going to be a really, really cool platform. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm going to be posting on there myself.
Nice. So what advice would you have for younger artists like yourself who are trying to make it in the music industry?
Never give up and try to tie what you're doing in terms of like music, like tie it with a purpose. Don't just do music because you want to make a lot of money. I feel like people should, me personally, I just feel like people should tie it with a purpose, and it would definitely bring a different type of drive out of them that would really make them very successful.
Nice. So
to go back now into the inspiration, sorry if we can go back.
No, that's fine.
In terms of inspirations, I have lots of inspirations. They come from everything. But in terms of like artists, for example, I really like Childish Gambino. XXXTentacion was a big inspiration for me. I actually have X tatted on me. And Kanye West, did I say that already?
No.
Michael Jackson, I love Michael Jackson. And yeah, there's a ton of artists for the most part that I take inspiration.
So what's next for you? I know that you have a deal with Nike coming out soon, dropping soon. Just talk to us on what can we expect.
I gotta say this is probably like one of the biggest things that's happened in my career, and it's kind of flew over my head until this moment that you just asked me. It's pretty huge, my first time actually speaking about it right now. But one of my songs is going to be in the Madden 21 game, and it's actually going to be rolled out within the first update, and I'm like the main song of it. I got to create my own like character. I got to create my own character merch. So they estimated over 100 million homes is gonna have that game, and
that's exciting.
Yeah, it's literally sinking in right now for me. It's and it's coming out. It's coming up pretty soon. So I'm very, very excited to see where that goes.
So when can we look forward to it around?
So the game comes out I think within the next 2 weeks or so.
Oh, okay. So
but the update where my songs and my like character stuff is coming out, I think is the first update, which is like early October or sometime in September.
So that's super soon.
Yeah.
So a lot to look forward to from you.
The song is called Just Do It.
Just Do It.
We're going to be doing a super awesome challenge called the Nike Check Challenge, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, so the song is releasing with the game.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so we should look forward to that challenge for sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and being here, Jufu.
Thank you for having me.
And that's the end of today's show. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Get our Amazon Fire TV app. Watch us on IG Live. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Stay safe and stay tuned for more Bold Life in 2 weeks. See you guys.